Hello everyone, and welcome to Get Fit with Janice Now. I'm Janice, and today I have with me Michelle Market. She's a wellness counselor, and she focuses on making sure you have high self-esteem and you eat right every day and you feel good about yourself. And she has offices in Herndon, Virginia, and we're filming today in her private office. Now, you believe in food journaling. Now, that's writing about what you're eating and why you're eating what you're eating, I guess,
Yes.
right? So can you go into that a little bit and why it's important?
Yeah, I think especially if you're an emotional eater, being able to sort of identify the time of day that you're eating. So are you eating because of external factors? Okay, it's breakfast time, or it's lunchtime, that's why I'm eating, or it's dinner time. You can address in terms of how am I feeling? Am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling upset? Am I feeling hungry, in terms of looking at sort of sensations of hunger? And then we talked about feelings, and then also to be kind of writing about what am I eating, so that you can be able to sort of track and start to see trends and different patterns. One thing I like about the food journals, it helps to really be able to say, if a client who, let's say they're binge eating at night, and we look at what they ate during the day, and there's really not much that they've eaten during the day. It gives us a chance to sort of identify, okay, well, you know what, start your day off with breakfast. Why don't you eat more frequently during the day in terms of small, breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, so that you're not over hungry, as that might be contributing to it. Or if they write in their food journal, okay, from 8 to 11 p.m., I'm feeling lonely, and you find that's when they're eating some of their different trigger foods. It can help us look at some pattern interruption. And I look at them as called behavior chains. How do you break the chain? So I might have with someone do, say they're overeating at nighttime, to go backwards in their day. Okay, what led up to that? Bad date, hard day at work, no downtime, or I'm really tired. And we can start to kind of dissect that a bit and be able to sort of look at what other coping skills can we put in place.
Now, you believe also in this course you teach, it's not about the chocolate cake, is the name of the course. And it's geared toward people struggling with emotional eating. So how do you get control of your emotions? You're like, oh, I'm so upset,
Well, one of the things I like to talk about is creating a coping box. And so what that would look like are things that you enjoy doing. Maybe it's lotion or nail polish or bubble bath, or music that you like to listen to, favorite book, favorite movie, favorite quotes, that you would be able to sort of, it would be sort of your go-to box when you're feeling sort of that, I'm really angry, I don't know what to do with it. Silly putty is another great thing because you're kind of manipulating in your hand. If you're an artist, you mentioned painting, drawing. So again, that you're allowing yourself to self-soothe without using food as a way of coping.
Now, is it society? I think it's society. It's really like it's everywhere you go. There's ice cream, there's potato chips, there's fast food, there's pizza. It's like you've got all these temptations out there. So how do you control yourself? What's your best words of wisdom?
Well, I think I would refer to those as environmental triggers. So we see a billboard, or we hear a commercial, or we're at the mall and we smell really wonderful smells. And I think acknowledging that in terms of being in touch with your hunger. So am I hungry? So if you're going out somewhere, let's say you're going to the mall or you're going grocery shopping, make sure you eat before you don't go to the grocery store hungry, or kind of have an idea as to have a plan beforehand as to what you're hungry for, what would taste good. So again, it becomes a different dialogue that you're having with yourself. Instead of saying, what looks good on the menu? It's, what am I hungry for? What would be satisfying to me? Do I want something hot, or do I want something cold? Do I want something filling, or do I want something light? So again, it's very different than the external controls of dieting. And I definitely, that's one thing I don't believe in, is I don't believe in diets.
And why don't you believe in diets?
Because it's, again, so much about external control. And I'm more a believer in intuitive eating and coming from a place of mindfulness. So when I think of diets, 95% of diets fail because of the fact that it's, okay, sense of deprivation, I have to be good all the time, someone else is saying this is what I should eat, and it doesn't play into what does my body need at this time. And when we really trust our bodies and learn to be in our bodies, which is so hard for many people, it becomes sort of this opportunity to really be in, sort of what's called the model of attunement, and being in tune with your body as well as kind of hunger signals. Diets come, a lot of times those that tend to be dieting tend to be focused on food. Well, when's my next meal? If they're doing, how many points do I have, or how many calories do I have left?
Weight Watchers,
and
right.
So by stepping back a bit and being able to sort of be more intuitive about your eating, it also kind of runs parallel to self-care and self-nurturance, because again, you're asking those questions, you're getting in touch with what's going on in my body, how am I feeling, what am I thinking? Again, a very different dialogue than the inner critic, or beating yourself up because you cheated, or you let yourself go that day.
I see. And now, one of the words in your Life Balance newsletter, you sent out a monthly newsletter, which is wonderful. And one of those newsletters is quiet, is the theme. Now tell us about why you think being quiet is so important.
Yeah. Well, I think because of the society we live in, we don't have a lot of quiet. We have, people are on with their iPhones, and everyone is so easily accessible. We have the internet, we have instant chat, we have Skype, and we have a lot of noise, I think, in our society, and a lot of clutter. By being quiet, we're simplifying, we're becoming more mindful, we're being able to slow down a little bit in this really sort of super speed society. And I think it's a real important way to kind of start our day and to end our day, and even have time in the middle of the day. I'll often encourage folks to drive in their car in silence, so they can get in touch with, how am I feeling today? What's going on? As opposed to always, filling the space.
With the radio or a cassette or a CD or whatever.
Right. And think about it from a nighttime, if you struggle with nighttime eating. If you always have something on, you're not learning how to be with your thoughts and be with your feelings. And so that's why I'm a real proponent of quiet.
And also, another newsletter you had was gratitude.
Yeah.
What is your feeling about gratitude?
I believe that what you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on what's not going well in your life, that's all you're going to see. But if you focus on things that are going well, and sort of your blessings and things that went well for the day in terms of whether it's fitness or exercise or self-esteem or work, it's just a very different approach to it, a different feel. It's a little bit more energizing, a little more uplifting than, this is what's going wrong, and this is what I need to be working on. And when I work with clients, what I have them do oftentimes, they'll say, okay, let's start off with what's going well right now. Because I know you're able to articulate what's not going well and articulate sort of the criticisms. But it's harder to give yourself credit. It's harder to sort of acknowledge what's going well. And again, it's sort of a way to be sort of a positive reframe, or have a paradigm shift in terms of being more positive and optimistic.
And another one you talk about is stress. Now, how does that play into food? Because say you're not upset, you're not doing anything emotionally, but you're just stressed, you're tight, you're tense.
Right. Well, and if you're using that as a way if you're using food as a way to cope with stress, again, you're moving away from what it is that what you need, which is, okay, how do I unwind? How do I relax? How do I acknowledge what I'm feeling? And so it kind of comes full circle again about this idea of practicing self-care, practicing stress management skills or coping skills. And I think that what I'm finding is that most people never learned them as a kid, and so they've come across different things that they think work. But I kind of look at self-care exercise. Maybe I'm feeling tense, maybe I go out for a walk. We are in such a society that people think, well, it's better if I work through lunch, when actually you're more productive when you take a break or take a cat nap, remove yourself from the situation, and regroup and recharge.
Right, very good. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for your words of wisdom. So we've been speaking with Michelle Market, and Michelle is a licensed professional counselor and wellness coach here in Herndon, Virginia, and she specializes in healthy food relationships and building your self-esteem. And thanks for tuning in today to Get Fit with Janice Now.